All right. Good morning, for me at least. I am back again. Thanks for joining me if you're here. I probably am going to have someone dropping by during this stream, so give me a second. So, I've got, they're not super puppers anymore, but this one here is my Codex, my golden retriever. He's a little older than a year, but he is a big barker. So, if anyone shows up, he is going to let me know immediately, and then I'll have to go deal with that. So I'll be gone for just a few minutes. Hina. He also is the one who likes attention. Hina over here is just about the same age. They're 1 week apart, but she has also taken on barking because he has. So, just letting you know, if I have to go for a little bit, that's what it will be, and I will know, and you'll probably hear it as well. So, now I'm going to set them out of my office because they will destroy literally everything. Hina, Codex, out! Alright, so I am kind of all here. You ever have one of those days where you just stay up too late, making bad decisions? Well, not bad decisions, but you stay up too late. I was actually working on the game, but I did not sleep well, probably because of that. So, yeah, little bit rough, not gonna lie. My brain is kind of here, it's kind of not. So we'll see how much actual coding I get done. I think this is going to be much more of a see what it actually looks like when you just sit down and you start trying to do stuff. So, yeah. I'm excited. I'm ready to work. But no guarantee that I'm going to get a lot done. We'll see. Right now I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my audio because it always chooses the wrong audio source for me. Alright. Let's get started. Where I left off is I'm working on that building menu and a little bit of polish and level design. I was doing a lot more thinking about the most important part for me to be working on right now. And although I don't like to focus in on the art a tremendous amount, I don't like to focus in on the sounds, I like to build the mechanics, the systems. I think it is probably time to try to make this look pretty good. And so I'm working on that right now. Cleaned up this house building a little bit, although still working on that right now. So if we come in here, I lost my controller. But if we look at this, I'm trying to get it to feel more like an actual game demo. So if we come in here, I've got my house. The placement of it is a lot better now. It changes and it actually fills up the screen, which is great. You can come in here and you can place a house significantly easier. It looks really nice. I got custom collisions, and I got a lot more houses to be able to choose from, including like some much larger ones, which is kind of fun. So you can come in here and you can build a variety of houses now. What I'm probably going to focus on is this weird jitter effect that these houses are giving me, and I don't know why, because other things don't, but this does. And I don't understand why it jitters so terribly bad. So today's going to be doing possibly some research on this, and then trying to determine what's going on with that, because my houses jitter, and although they are drawing themselves here, that shouldn't be affecting anything, because I actually have everything drawing itself essentially, because I'm having to do manual depth so I can be behind tiles and houses and stuff. So I can't imagine that's the issue, but that's kind of what my big thing is. I'm going to get that working, and I'm going to try and add in rooms to go inside of the houses that you place dynamically, which will be fun. So I'll be here if you got questions. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to shut up so that I can think and I can work. So here we go. Ugh. Let's see if this controller has enough battery life. Having it plugged in really messes up my style here. Yeah. Huh. Hello. Who's on today? Huh. Okay. Well, that was quick. For once, AI had a legitimately good solution. Okay. Looks like, it looks like when you are drawing things, or when they're placed, you want them to... I don't know, how did it phrase it? Said something about subpixel movement. Yeah. So if my houses or anything is actually placed at like 25.6 of a pixel, it's going to struggle greatly. And so just flooring them worked just fine, which actually goes right into what I need to do anyway. I need to snap when I'm placing houses anyway, so that you can't place them just anywhere. But okay, that was a lot faster of a fix than I expected, which I am okay with. And let's see, what was I doing? Okay, so that works pretty well. I'm going to move this up a little bit, and then this is no longer being built at all. So something is changing here, because I am no longer actually seeing this in the slightest. So does that mean I can literally build anywhere I want? No, I still can't actually build there. Nice, you can walk between those houses. That's cool. Okay, so can be built is working properly, but this is no longer setting. It's no longer drawing this at all. Let's change this from a background to a foreground and see if that changes anything. I might just be drawing it too small. Yes. I would say I'm drawing that rectangle a little too small. Why? Oh. I hard-coded these numbers in. That's why. Yes, this is the prototype. Well, it's not a prototype. It's more of, I mean, it's the full game I'm working on. This is what you call a vertical slice, and so it is basically a demo of the game that shows off each of the core features of the game. So I've built the combat of the game, I've made the farming, and now I'm making like the town building, and then next up I have a few others. But basically you put all those together into one room that someone can play to see if they're interested in investing, to see if they want to buy the game. You can even put it out as a demo if you so desired, although this is far away from having that. But this vertical slice is the main thing I'm working on to create a pitch deck to see if I can get some investors. That's the goal. That's the plan. So that's what we're doing right now. Yeah, it's a demo is the nice simple word for it, but it doesn't quite encapsulate it. Like this, what I'm doing, will not be out. Like I'm not going to publish this vertical slice on Steam for people to download and play. It's not in a state like that at all. It's not meant to just be played to be like enjoyed in the same sense. It's meant to be played to see if it's a viable product, to see if it could become a full game. That's kind of the point of the vertical slice. Does that make sense? So which one are you? Which of my kids is doing the watching and typing? Ah, hello, hello. If you go back to like the 2-3 minute mark of the start of the video, you'll see our doggos. I was showing them off to YouTube. Oh. Man. I really hard-coded some of these numbers in there. That was not good. There we go. That's much better. Okay. So... That's not what I wanted. I actually wanted it smaller. Well, hello. Skeptic, yeah. Constants, I think constants might be overkill because this is the only object I'm using them on. If I was using them elsewhere, 100%. Or globals. But, well, what is, oh. -4 is what, let's see if it says that in here or not. It's undefined in GameMaker. So in like some of the manual, it actually says -4 or undefined. Like when it returns nothing, it's basically undefined. And so I have just checked -4 forever. I think in GameMaker proper, undefined is -4. When something has no appropriate or correct value. Yeah. Basically, it's like if the function doesn't have an actual solution, it's not there. So, that's all. Yeah. I'm just saying if I don't have a collision, then I can build there. Right now, all I'm trying to do is just figure out the actual checking of where I'm allowed to build, because it was decent there for a second, and then it started to fail. Yeah, now I've made it too large. That red rectangle is exactly where it should be, but I made it actually larger than what I wanted instead of smaller. It's the width of the house, and I'm bringing it down 25%. I'm not totally crazy. I'm not great at math, but it should just be the size of the sprite times 0.75, which is 75% of the actual house. So what am I doing wrong? This is the correct size here. Oh, okay, hold on. And this is my collision rectangle, my visual of it. So let's go ahead and take all of this. So basically, already doing that. Okay. Okay. Now my collision rectangle, which is too large, should be visualized properly at least. Yeah, okay. So that's the actual collision rectangle I've got. Why is my build scale? My build scale says at 1, so at true size. So why? Because I'm not dividing it by half. I'm drawing I'm subtracting the full, yeah, there we go. I was subtracting the full height of it all the way up and like half, basically making it 50% larger. Okay, that's what I want. Now, lots of tedious typing. This right here, I am not happy with at all, but I'm currently figuring out how to completely redo my collisions using multiple parents and inheritance for collision checking. And if I start down that path, I'm not going to get any new features built at all. And so I'm currently holding off. Okay. So now we can build a little bit closer together. You got to be a little bit further apart to have some space inside of here. But now you can build things pretty close together. I have this giant house over here too. I like this one quite a bit because you can actually go underneath the roof or the terrace or whatever. You cannot go on the terrace yet. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Well, okay, I know how I can do it because I've already built bridges with tiles, and this is basically a tile set, but it's gonna be a real technical challenge to be able to walk up there. I'm kind of excited to tackle it, but it is such a far off thing that I'm not worried about it right now. So, okay, the houses are not jittering. I can place them properly. It looks decent. Realistically, I should keep them within the bounds of the camera. Let's see if I can do that really quick. Otherwise, you can take them outside of the room and outside of where you can see, which is just going to cause a lot of chaos. So, we're gonna clamp this. I was just messing with my camera, so I have most of that code already here for me, which is nice. So I'm going to take all of this. So the minimum is going to be 0 on the X, and the max will be the view X. That might be all I need. Let's see. Sit. Nice. Ooh. My controller. Yes, I'm confident you'll be able to find me some bugs. I'm actually counting on it. I will need that. Illegal undefined null use. Wow, doing something illegal. That's fun. Do convert. Line 43. Well, it does not like that. I don't actually know why, though. My control... That can't be right. I know it's undefined there, but I pass it in. Do I not? Oh. No, this variable my controller does not exist. I feel like this is one of those weird glitches inside of GameMaker specifically, because that should be working unless I've typed the name of it wrong. But it's my controller. And the... Okay, let's try it this way then. Instead of passing in a struct, let's just set it here. Got the numbers a little wrong. I'm stuck to the upper left quadrant of my room, but at least I can place it. And I'm guessing if I do that, it will... Yeah, it's always good. Oh. Yeah, okay. It's clamping, but it's not quite clamping the way I want. So, we're almost there, though. So it needs to be 0 plus... house width. Yeah, when you're actually actively developing stuff, you get a lot of weird, funny glitches that show up. 100%. It can be very interesting to show some of them off because they make very, very good videos. Other ones are not so funny because they are just annoying. This is probably unnecessary. Alright. Okay. I'm not sure that's right. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's wrong. Yep, 100% wrong. Okay. Oh, my mind is not working on this camera math. It should be straightforward. Okay. View width is the maximum size of where we are. So, view X is where we currently are. Is the far left of where we are. So, it is not 0, it is view X, and it is view Y. Yes, plus half. Then, it's not view X, it's view width, and view height. Alright, if you're offering some math help for me, you could probably help me right now. My brain is not mathing properly, not gonna lie. So, if you see some math I mess up on, you let me know. You have to convert it into variables, because that's what I'm using. Oh, okay. I'm stuck. I got the X coordinates correct. So now we have the view Y. Salad. Or is it salad? Because you have an E in there. I'm not totally sure. I'll call you salad unless you tell me otherwise. Welcome back. So, I'm refining my building placement. I've got a few more things in there, and then I'm ready to start making some rooms. And I'm excited, because that'll be much more interesting. Right now, I have a weird little bug that I'm very close to fixing. I have like one math problem I'm doing wrong. One symbol somewhere. It should be the minimum. The minimum that you can go up and down is your view y is basically your 0 plus half. So that's where you're stuck. The view height is something is not working and I don't know why. Why? So if I come over here. No. It's actually sticking me. Oh, weird. So I'm stuck right here. I am clamping it properly. My view Y, there's nothing wrong there. I'm getting the height. A lot of times what I do is I'll confuse the height and the width here. So I'm trying to figure out if I did that. But I didn't. It's view height, sprite get height, sprite get width, building's house divided by 2. Something is not what I expect it to be. Okay, so if I start this process, my view x is 0, view y is, yep. The view height is 288. Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is why I haven't done it yet, but in most of my projects, I go in and I make a tremendous amount of helper functions, which honestly I'm just going to do because I'm going to need this more and more. So I'm going to make a few helper functions because it is just dumb to try to figure this out yourself. So, okay, first thing I have to do is camera get right X. None of this is complicated necessarily. It just has to be done, and when you have to do it over, like when I have to call this over and over and over in multiple places, it just becomes an absolute pain in the butt. And I'm doing it wrong, obviously. So I'm gonna take what I've got. Where is well, hello there, Akita? I hope you do stay. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help on anything you've got, or you can just hang out. I'm working on a game. That's what I'm doing, and you are free to be here as well. Okay. I want all of this. So I need to get the very right of the camera. So it's going to be That is a pure coincidence. Nothing to, not, they are not connected in the slightest, I'm sure. Not actually. If you're looking for something real simple, well, nah, I won't even say that, but you're free to just hang out. Hello, Tips Dot. Welcome. I enjoy GameMaker quite a bit as well. When things are going my way, at least. Okay, so it's view X plus view width. Like, honestly, this is all I need, but I need to get that. I just need to have functions that do this for me, so I don't have to do the math all the time. And I'm just gonna make some real simple functions so I don't have to keep retyping all of this over and over and over. So if you work with camera systems at all, you'll probably be familiar with this. I like my camera system. It's not perfect, but it allows me to move around and have control of how fast and how much it moves. But when you're working with cameras that actually change around in the room, you have to be able to get in there and actually know where you're at in the actual room. So GameMaker works on Fedora Linux. Let me see. I think Linux is in beta, and I'm trying to remember if... Yeah. So, it has Ubuntu, and I'm not a power Linux user by any means, but usually if it works on one, you can find some sort of it. I think I've even gotten it working on like a Chromebook before by installing Flatpak and going from there. So you probably can. It does say beta. You can do that. What I was going to suggest earlier, which I've been enjoying a tremendous amount, is Pico 8. If you want to start something really small, it's a different game engine, but I'm actually going to be teaching this in my classes pretty soon. So if you just want something really easy, like, this is actually really cool. I like this Pico 8 a tremendous amount, and I use the education version. So it's one of those things that is extremely stripped down, and you're in here and you have like, you're very limited on what you can do, but it's really cool. So if you want a web-based programming solution, Pico 8 is fantastic, but GameMaker can work as well. Yeah, Scratch is a great starting point. I've done a little bit of it. I've done a good bit of drag and drop when it comes to robotics and spheros. So if you've ever seen these before, they are a pretty cool robot, but they have a decent drag and drop system in there, and I actually teach beginning programming with that, simply because it's actually like, it allows them to physically move stuff with their code blocks, which I think is great. Any sort of game dev or web dev where you can see what your code is doing is fantastic. And robots are really cool that way. These guys are a little expensive, but you can find them used for a pretty good price. And so that's what I do with drag and drop in the beginning, and then I move on to Pico once they're ready to start doing some text coding. Really, really nice. Yeah. There's a lot of debate if HTML is actually a programming language. I mean, in the name, it's hypertext markup language, I believe is the actual name. And so it's a markup language. It's not even a programming language. You could argue, I mean, JavaScript is a programming language, and when you combine HTML and CSS, it becomes closer to programming, but even then, it's much more design than anything else. I would not consider HTML to be a good programming start. It's a good way to design and think and get into like how to code a little bit, but it's not. If you want to actually make something interesting, you can't. It doesn't do anything. It's just for visuals. So like, it does you nothing. This is almost to the point where it's not even worth it. You can see I'm literally just calling my own functions that I just made. But when I need to get something, like it's what I need to do. It's a lot easier to call a function that I've written than have to figure out the math for it every time. So, okay, I'm not even going to document that, and let's see if this is correct. So, I can get rid of all of this. And I'm going to restart this because my math was completely wrong. So the minimum value of where my building can be on the left is going to be... Oh, nope, can't do that yet. I think this is all I want. Yeah. You're paying closer attention than I am, Tipstot. I did catch it, though. You let me know if I missed anything else, because as I am talking as well as coding, my attention is split. So, although this is fairly straightforward, I can still very much make mistakes. So, do let me know. Okay. Between those 6 functions, I should be able to get any position of the camera on any player. So, now, all I need to do is go back to this. I'm glad to hear that. I've never heard it said that way, but I will take it. Yeah, Akita, I'll show you exactly what it's doing in a second. I'll show it to you with it and without it, and it'll visually make a lot of sense, I think, assuming I can get it working. I think I'm pretty much there at this point. So, what I want to do is camera get left X. And I name all of my stuff very descriptively. So even if you don't understand what a function does, like how it might syntactically work, you can probably figure out just from the name a little bit of what's going on. So you can try that. And if you have any specific questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just explain as I go here. So get left X plus house width divided by 2. Oh, no. Draw X. So the minimum I'm allowed to go is to the left, is where I'm at. The maximum is all the way over minus house width divided by 2. I'm going to try just one. If this works, I should only be able to move the house I'm building inside of the camera. You see how my camera moves? Like if I move left and right, I actually see more of the room. So if I start building, I should not be able to leave the left or the right side of the room. That's exactly what I want. But without a clamp, I can leave the room going up and down. And so I can come down here and I can build, but I've built it outside of my actual view, and this one outside of the actual room of GameMaker here. And so like I don't want to be able to do that. So I do this same thing again with the up and down, the vertical, the Y, and then I'm good. One too many commas. Okay. Okay. Now, no matter where I am, I'm stuck inside of my camera. That's what I'm looking for. Now, it is stuck based on that collision rectangle, and I don't actually want that. I actually do want the entirety of the house. So if I took off this divided by 2... Oh. That's not right at all. That's way too much. So it's all the way to the left plus, okay, plus half of my house. The house width. What is this getting? The base asset sprite. No transforms. So if I look at this, there's a width of 70. So I'm just curious if that's returning 70 to me. Yeah, okay. I think I'm happy enough with that. I'm probably gonna leave it because it's pretty close. For those of you who are watching, I did have a question. I was playing around with the camera recently. I'd love your opinion on how far out or in the camera should be. So when I make my camera system right here, right now it's the width is 512 pixels and the height is 288. So if I bumped this up to something larger, does this look better or does this look worse? How much of my world should I actually show? If I have this kind of building in here, right? Like, do I need to have more space? Ooh. Yeah, I still want to know your opinion, but I just got an idea, which I can totally do. Let's try this. This would be cool. If I go in to my build menu, actually, let's go into my player code, and I increase the camera size. I could like zoom out while I'm building, which would be fantastic so you can actually see more. And that would be a fantastic function because I'm going to need that. So this one will actually be a little more complex, but this will be really cool. I'm going to use this all the time. Yeah, I like that idea too. I'm curious if just in general I should make my camera further out, further in, or if it's in a good spot. Um, I'm not too worried. Every sprite, every asset that I have right now is not going to be in the finished project, but the size is around the size that I expect it to be. These are 16 by 16 pixels or tile sets, and so that's about what I expect my finished thing to be. So we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna resize my camera. Which I can do down here. So camera set view position. No, that's not what I want. Let's see. Camera set view size. Oh. There's already a function like this. Perfect. So new width, new height. Yeah, I actually have code right now that will just break the game that was meant to resize your camera. Well, that didn't do anything. If I take my mouse and I scroll wheel, that was for zooming in and out, which worked until I went and added controller support, and now it just breaks the game. So I haven't fixed it yet, but I know how to zoom in and out. And now that I say that, why don't I go look at that code, and I guess I could fix that while at the same time taking that code, because I want to be able to zoom in and out right here. So camera controls, if I go up, if I just change this, I wonder if that was the only thing that broke. Seems too simple to me, but yep. There you go. I'm not quite sure on what's going on with the pixelation side of it, but you can see that I can zoom in and zoom out, get a real good look. So the idea of zooming in and out is actually fairly straightforward. I'm not sure what's going on with this. I think I have to you have to adjust more than just the width and height of the camera. You have to also adjust the scale of all of your sprites. I think it's what is it? There's a lot more going on than simply zooming the camera in and out if you want it to look good. But that is what I want to do right here. But I also need it to look good. So I guess I'll fix this and fix the ability to actually zoom out while you're building. Yeah, I think it's camera size. I don't think it has anything to do with the GUI. I know you can resize the actual surface, which might be it. Let me see this, and then I'll go and look at the camera size. I'm setting the camera size here, but it might be something more than that. And actually, I want to resize the surface no matter what I do. So, yeah. See, look at that. You have to resize the surface that you're working on as you change the size of your camera. GameMaker does a fantastic job of taking low pixel stuff and being able to blow it up. So, like, right now, this window is 1080p, or 1920 by 1080. But if I came in here and I wanted it to be, you know, my whole resolution, I can do that, and I don't lose any quality because GameMaker scales everything very nicely. Unless, of course... Oh, that's the GUI itself. If I set the window size, then you can make this however you want. This is how you could do, like, snapping. Like, if you were to, you know, have a full screen, or you were allowed to drag the window around, then this is how you could do that. So, like, that works perfect. I don't want it to be that big because I want to be able to see outside of it, but that's exactly what I want to do. So, this is working now. Cool. Now, all I need to do is basically this code in here. Although, this might not work. We'll see. It'll work. My fear is that I'm changing the wrong camera. So I have a global camera width, but this game is going to be multiplayer. All right, thanks for hopping in, Tipsdot. I appreciate it. Enjoy your work if you can. So my fear is I'm changing the actual global camera, but I don't want to change the global camera because every single player... Oh. No? Oh. Okay. No, I should be fine. Looks like I actually coded this well. I'm using the controller number. I have an array of cameras, and so if I have multiplayer, every single person has to have their own camera. Works perfectly fine. So, as long as I call this, I'm using the specific camera for this specific player, then it works perfectly fine. So, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to move this over here and call my new function camera set size, and we're going to pass in these in, but I don't want to do that. I need to know the actual size of the camera that I have now. And then I'm going to change the size of that camera a smidgen. And I need the owner, which is me. And I need the speed. Now, I don't have the speed set anywhere yet, but I don't want it to just snap. I actually want it to smoothly move. And so, I want to basically call, well, camera update is always calling. So actually, I don't think I need the speed at all. So let's just try this, and then when I leave, I need to reset the camera size, or it'll stay that big. Okay. There we go. So now we have a larger camera. Oh. Except it didn't go back. But it made it larger immediately, which is exactly what I wanted. But it did not go back. To where it was supposed to. So... Oh. Because I didn't set it to go back. That does help when you actually use the information that you ask for. Ugh. Something in my eyeball. Okay. Need to resize the surface, but that's exactly what I wanted. And you go back. Perfect. Okay. Now, I'm not super happy with the speed on it. I do actually want to change the speed. Man. Something's going on with my eye. So, that works. I need to resize the surface. What is... Oh. So I've already done this. Let's take it. So it's application surface and then what I've got. Okay. Okay. Now, how do I change this actual speed? Because camera update is already being called, but I don't want it to move that quickly. I want to have full control over where the camera moves to and how fast it moves there. This is the actual function that I want to have. Okay. Okay, let's try this. If I change the speed, the global speed, it might work. No. And that surface resize does not seem to be working correct. It is a little bit, but it's also not. Oh, because it's not. What? So this looks good. Why does my build menu not look as good as that? Surface resize. Every single, yeah. So, setting the controller, getting the controllers getting the actual camera width and adding a little bit to it. And then Weird. Seems to work there, but doesn't seem to work nicely here. This is doing nothing. Probably because of this. Let me see. Let me try to isolate one problem at a time first. There's a very slow moving camera. Yeah, okay. So, couple things here, couple ideas. So, first off, that's far too slow. But, we'll do this for now. If that's a very unideal solution, but it should actually work. Yeah. So now it moves, which I think looks a lot better. And now I can place things in there. Looks great. Well, no, there's something wrong. I just don't know why my surface looks terrible. Why does it look so bad? Maybe I need to actually... What if I just called this directly instead? Well, no, that doesn't make any sense. I should be able to put it in a function, no problem. The only difference here is I'm actually changing... No. It doesn't matter. When I enter, change the size. When I exit, change the size. At least I can go back to here and do this. I like that a lot better. So now you can build it. Yeah. But now my application surface looks terrible. Like, if I rerun it, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's all in my head. Or maybe my application surface just looks awful anyway. I don't know. I feel like I'm much more pixelated than I should be. And it's also one of those things, you know how when you stare at a letter or a word for so long, or you say it for so long, it starts losing all meaning, and you can't imagine that that word is a real word? I wonder if I'm staring at my player for so long. They just don't even look like a player anymore. They look like just a bunch of pixels, and I'm like, why do you not look like a better bunch of pixels? Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm purely just imagining it. I honestly could be completely imagining, like, this is how my person looks right now. When I go to build, they still look about the same, and they still look the same. But now, it just feels like everything is off. Something does not look right, and I changed my camera settings up here. I changed this. I wonder if I did not if I did not resize my surface after I made these changes. And that's why it all looks just a little off. I don't know. Everything looks just a little out of place. But I wonder if it goes back to that sub-pixel movement. I wonder, like, as weird as it might sound, what if... Let's try something. If I go to my idle... If I just floor my X and my Y coordinates, do I look better? No. I still look weird. That looks better. When I use the cameras too fast, you mean like this? Okay, I'm not crazy. Literally, when I use my mouse to change my camera size, everything looks better immediately. But I'm calling the same code. I'm calling surface resize, which didn't do anything, so there's no point in calling it there. I don't even know where this camera controls can be used at. Like, where am I calling it from? Right here. At the bottom of my step event, I allow camera controls. Okay. But then why does this No. Okay, I need to read this function. There's something going on here I don't understand. Cleared and drawn again. Okay. If you are resizing the application surface, these changes will not be registered until the start of the next draw frame. Okay. I wonder what would happen if I just threw this code into my project. Like literally, if my application surface is not the exact same size, then just recreate it. I don't know if you can see, but there is now a there is now a jitter effect, and my FPS dropped tremendously because I am remaking the application surface every single frame. I don't know that this will do anything. I'm reaching a loss of why it looks bad, because it does. It does not look the way it's supposed to look. And I am not happy with it at all. No. Okay. I don't understand what that's supposed to be doing, and it's not doing what I want it to do. So. Set the view size. Set the view size. Resize the application surface. Set the view size, resize the application surface. Does it matter when it does it? This is at the end of the step event. Camera update. This is what actually moves my camera, which is fine. This is one of those things that I should know more about, is the application surface and how it works, but I don't. And there's a tremendous amount of stuff you can do when it comes to the application surface that is really, really cool. But I don't know how to do most of it. Yeah, see, this still looks good. Something fundamentally is wrong when I am adjusting this camera, but I don't know why. I wonder if it comes back to that whole sub-pixel thing of not being able to draw it properly. Maybe the amount I'm altering it by is too much here, but in here I'm only doing it by well, however much that is at a time. So what if I try doing it the exact same amount instead of doubling it? Maybe that's too much. No. Everything is off and wavy and not clear. Everything is just a little bit wrong. I wonder... Have I made a what? I wonder. I wonder. I don't have a health bar yet, no. Well, I don't think I do. I believe I have health. Let's see. So if we look up here... Yeah, I have 15 health. I don't know that I'm actually drawing the health. Easiest way is to simply go into my combat room and look. No, I am not drawing a health bar yet. Yeah, everything... That's crazy. Wait, yeah, dude, I have a health bar. Look, it's down there. It's just tiny. Again, I implemented it, but it's not a beautiful implementation by any means. And now I have 0 health. I can't die. My health is going into the negatives. But, yes, I do have a health bar. And now my guys crashed because they are trying to find a path through the rocks, and they cannot do that. That's a slightly different issue. Okay. Yeah, there is something fundamentally wrong with my application surface and the way I've set up my camera. Every single room and every single thing looks slightly blurry and pixelated. Well, it's pixel art, but it looks badly pixelated, like it's off. And if I zoom out and zoom back in with my mouse, everything looks better. So there is something I have fundamentally done that is wrong when setting up my initial camera system. And I'm really noticing it now, and now it's like all I can think about, because it makes my game actually look significantly worse. Like the pixel art is very beautiful, but the camera is doing it injustice. And so now I have to figure this out. I guess I'll work on the rooms for the houses later today, but yeah. This is like all consuming at the moment. Okay. So I know it has to do with the application surface. So the application surface is where everything is drawn by GameMaker, unless you create your own surface, which is super cool, and there's a bunch you can do about it. Okay, so Resolution scale. Well, yeah, I mean, you can set the view here in GameMaker 2 as well, but if you want to actually have like a multi-camera game, either for multiplayer or any other unique system, like you could put mini maps up there, you could have a moving camera, you have to go in and put in a little more code. And that's where this problem is coming from. The next live stream is tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I wonder if my scale, like they have a scale here, so I'm curious. This is the manual on surfaces. It's 7:36 over there? Wait. You're 8 hours ahead? Where are you at, Salad? You must be somewhere in like the UK? You're on the other side of the world right now. Netherlands. Nice. That makes sense then. That's cool. Makes sense why you show up to the morning ones then. I imagine when I do it tomorrow at 3, it's going to be 11 at night for you. I don't know if you're a night owl or not, but I guess we'll see. Should only create surfaces in the draw event. Depth and stencil buffer. I've never heard of a stencil buffer before. Now I'm just curious. Z writing. I'm going down rabbit holes now. Depth versus depth. This is something I have never gone in and looked at before. Interesting. Okay. Don't need that. Interesting, but not what I need. I don't understand it enough, but it's not for 2D games. So if you were making a 3D game in GameMaker, you'd have to actually have a good system for understanding the depth behind pixels. So like when things are behind one another, and the depth and the stencil buffer handle something essential to that. I have no idea what it is or how it works. If you're curious, go look up Dragonite Spam on YouTube. He really likes doing 3D stuff and weird things inside of GameMaker and is very knowledgeable when it comes to that. So I'm guessing he could tell you all about it. Surface. Surface format. This is not what I'm looking for either. Okay. Surface. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Okay. Let's try something. So, display get width, display get height. Not sure what this will do, if it will do anything at all. Wow. That... So many of the visual artifacting things I've had issues with stem from this poor camera setup. Literally all of it. That's crazy. This doesn't fix it, but like... Now that I know that, that's just crazy to me. I've kind of just accepted them as normal, but they're not. They look terrible. Yeah, okay. Something... Make sure this stuff is actually running. Because it doesn't seem like it is. Camera width is 512 by 288. I resize the surface. Okay. So I don't think I need that at all. What happens if I don't resize my surface? Well... What happens if I just stop resizing my surface? No. Didn't break anything. Didn't fix it either. So it's like, why am I doing that in the first place? Yeah, starting room. There we go. That's what it's supposed to be. Room go to starting room. Define camera. There's import party. Okay, so I'm always using this. This is how I define a camera after. Now in the world mechanics, in the actual game manager when it starts, I still call define camera. And I call set camera there. As soon as you do that, everything looks so much better. But why? Why does it look better even when I'm calling that same code elsewhere? Let's see. I'm changing this to 512 by 288. So what happens if I change these numbers in my define camera? Oh, bad stuff. But that actually looks better. Now that looks bad. Now that looks good. Okay. Alright. Oh. Yeah. That's probably the problem. The view width and the view height. If you don't scale things with nice numbers, this doesn't work. Okay, let's try this. So, 16 by 9 is the general ratio. So, let's 1280 divided by 16 is 80. Okay. So let's do 16 times 40. Okay, that's what I had over here. I had 640 by that. Now 16 times 30. We'll try this. 480. 720 divided by 9 is 80, so 9 times 40. 9 times, oops, 9 times 30. So let's try this. 480 by 270 is where this actually goes. Now, the view width I'm passing in are those first two numbers. So, if I'm defining the camera, starts in the middle, it starts right there. So these things, it's important for these numbers to actually match up well. I remember reading about this and how essential it is to actually have proper scaling inside of your game, because if you scale things wrong, it will look bad. I am scaling things wrong inside of my game right now. Okay, so my view okay. Ooh. Now that looks terrible. And you can see how it all moves like that. So, am I resizing? I'm resizing this based on the camera, not the view. I think is the plan is I'm resizing my surface incorrectly originally. No. Whew. You see, I don't know if it shows up on YouTube well, but like you can see, it's almost like a blind, like a blind effect. Like, you know, when you have curtains or like blinds and you pull them up and down, you can see the grass and everything. It looks so bad. It just looks terrible. So yep. So maybe I need to resize my surface after everything else. Nope. So what if we did the surface? I'm trying to figure out what the surface is even supposed to be. It's not supposed to be that. Whatever the case is, this doesn't seem to do anything. Because I haven't actually called it. Welcome. I wasn't sure anybody was still here. I'm thinking out loud, but I am legitimately at a loss as to what I am doing wrong. So, but this has become the only thing I'm thinking about because it has literally, I've seen it since I started making this game, and I did not know if it was in my head or if that's just how it had to be. But no, I caused the problem and now I need to fix it. So maybe if I call surface resize, calling it on room start did not seem to do anything. Let me just throw this in the player's create event, like, and just see what happens. No. No. What about... I appreciate the encouragement there. I also believe I can do it eventually, and I'm willing to put the time in. I just wish I had more time overall. Even with a week to work on this, it's not enough time. Games are big things. I mean, any app, any project worth doing is big and takes a lot of work. I just wish I had more time right now, you know? Okay. I don't mind this closer view. It actually looks decent, but now everything here is messed up. What did I do? I think I changed the size of this. Hey, I understand focusing on what's in front of you right now makes a lot of sense. So, you get that done, and then you pencil out some time. Pico 8 is actually developed in Lua, so if you started there, you'd be building the language knowledge of Lua while learning a game engine, and then you could translate that to Roblox if you wanted to start modding it or making games in there. Just saying. Wait, where am I at right now? What am I? I've been staring at this code for so long, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. Jeez, okay. Okay, so this happens every single game, every single thing. Okay, let's see if we can just hard code this in, and I can try to understand what I'm doing wrong in a little bit. So, when I call, where did it go? Come back. When I call this, this works. So I'm just going to gosh darn. I'm just wondering if I have been assigning the incorrect camera to my player, and that's why everything I'm doing is actually not working. Because if I have multiple cameras, and I made one originally, and I assign it, like I set it the wrong one to the player, all of the things I'm changing are to that other camera, which doesn't actually exist. And so I'm just curious. It doesn't look like that's the problem, because this didn't seem to do anything, although I don't actually have surface resize in here, so let me come down here and change that. No. No? Woof. It looks even worse now, which is hard to believe. Global dot camera width. Yeah, he had a very deformed eye there for a second. It looked even worse than usual. Which I'm not sure if it means I did something wrong, or if it was just like luck of the draw of how bad it was. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not... Okay. If I don't call define camera, what happens? I think it will break everything. Yeah. Okay. Because I have to set all of these things. And this is where I actually set my window size and I do all of that. Yeah, okay. That all makes sense. Then I come in here, right? I do actually go into this code, don't I? Yes, okay. Okay. I keep freezing. I don't think it's me. I think it's you. It is late for you. Alright. Later, Salad. Thank you for dropping in. I appreciate it. And yes, I do need the luck. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have it fixed. Yeah. Whichever kid you are, it's got to be your internet. I don't see any quality issues on my end. If anybody else sees one, though, do let me know. But I currently see 0 dropped frames and a healthy stream, which is nice because my first stream on Sunday was atrocious. So, yeah, Roshan, the Wi-Fi there is terrible. So, here, good luck. Turn down the quality. Maybe it'll help a little bit. Oh, jeez. This is not gonna work. Okay. Alright. At the very least, I know I'm not crazy, and I know that this can actually look significantly better than what it has looked like. I just have to figure out why this does not... Why my surface will not work properly. I'm glad I'm at least glad that I got there. That's good. So this is my camera. And I create it, I resize the surface, everything is good. Then we come over here and we actually set the camera. In every room we start, we set the camera. View enabled, view visible. And then we go here and we set this. Am I setting the proper camera to where I'm supposed to be? So my global camera 0 is there. View camera is getting set. I don't know how I don't think I can view this camera object any more succinctly. And it doesn't have anything to do with this, does it? Hold on. So that works. And then the rest, no. So this can't have anything to do with it. This is purely moving the camera, and it works just the way I want it to. I think we ran through the entirety of the Star Fox album. That's crazy. Means we've been at this for a while. I'll put on a little more music, but I think I'm getting close. 2 hours, an hour and a half on this problem is getting up there. So, I mean, I think I already did this, but like, can I just put it in the draw end event to resize the surface? Would that just fix it? Even that doesn't fix it. So like, it is not resizing the surface that fixes it. It's the actual code. Where did it? It's like this code here. Although I suppose it's both. So if I set the camera and resize the surface. Let's try that. I'm not sure controller. Okay, I mean, that fixed it. That fixes it right there. So that fixes my issue. What happens if I go into my build menu? It doesn't. It won't let me go anywhere because I haven't actually changed the global. So like, let's. Okay. Alright. This is how you hard code a solution. You go in, you make a variable called anything. You make a Boolean, and you say has run surface resize equals false. Now, I'm going to go down to the one spot I need this to run. And I want it to run one time. So I'll say if has run surface resize is equal to false, then this code runs. And we set that now equal to true. And you leave a comment with big capitalization saying fixes camera issue, not a great solution. But it does fix the camera issue. And then it comes back again. Okay. So that fixes it. Now, let's see if I can get the actual building working a little better. So in camera set size, I want to go here. And like... I don't understand why this doesn't work. This is essentially the exact same thing. But it's not. But it essentially is. So... I wonder if my numbers are just... I wonder if my numbers do not scale properly, which is why they're off. So if I come in here, what are the actual numbers I get? So 544 and 306. And in my actual, like when I'm resizing my code, what is global.camera width and height? 480 and 270. I wonder if I just multiplied those by 2 instead of doing this thing. If I just double the size of my camera, would that make it look better? Or is there something more nefarious at play? There is something much more nefarious at play. You can see very easily that that actually makes it much, much worse. But why? Because I can double the size of my camera zooming in and out, no problem. What is the camera I'm setting properly here? What is it? 0. I only have one camera. Okay, so that's right. $960 by $540. Getting to that size isn't the problem. I can do it little by little here. But if I just change it, it fails. All I know is I'm going to feel very stupid once I figure this out. There has to be something else I'm doing with global.camera. Something somewhere else that I'm using global.camera width and height. And by not adjusting them correctly, it's messing everything up. It has to be. The defined camera only runs one time. Yep. No way. It can't be the case. So if I took this and I took this and I set so if I set those directly to the global ones, then it works. Why? Why does that work? I'm literally not doing anything different except using these variables. And I just looked, and I don't use those variables anywhere else. What in the world? Is it this? Is it just that? No, I am setting the camera properly. Okay, so I know I'm setting the correct camera. I'm not changing the actual surface. Oh, man alive. Let's try changing one at a time. What happens if I resize my surface? That looks fine. So now I'm resizing my surface with my actual passed in values. There's always a first time, even with variables. What do you mean? Oh, because I didn't. That's a really, really interesting idea of maybe I have created all of this data and thought I was using it properly, but I'm not. And so when I actually set it the first time is when it actually gets set correctly. At this point, I would believe it. I don't know. That has to be it. This is the only thing that is different. The functions themselves work the same no matter where they happen. This right here, if I took this out, the setting of the global camera width, if I took that out, it messes everything up. So yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. For some reason, I have to set these, even though as far as I'm aware, literally nothing is using them after I have set them. Somewhere is. Like, literally last week, I told my classes, my students, like, the beautiful thing about programming is if there's a mistake, it's 100% your fault. Because then you have 100% power to fix it. Ugh. And that's the truth. Like, I've made a mistake. I have broken something. I've coded it one way. I've come back to it 8 months later, 12 months later, and I don't remember exactly how I coded it, and I'm trying to make it work. And that's what I get. But if I broke it, I can fix it. So I'm not super worried about it. I'm more fascinated on why it is doing this. Because I set it here. I create the camera. I wonder what would happen if I just got rid of those two variables. I think that's a problem. I think I could track this down. And it might be something I need to do now. Hey, that is pretty fascinating. I 100% agree. Do you have a headache yet? I guess you're not coding yet. Welcome, Jax. Why GameMaker? The easiest answer is because I've been using it for a decade, and I am making my first real game I plan to publish, and I wanted to be able to focus on the game, not the tool. I can think, visualize, and plan, and then implement without GameMaker getting in the way. I had original thoughts of trying a different game engine, but it took me years to become this comfortable with GameMaker, and it would take that long to do anything else. And so if I started a massive project in a new engine, I would be fighting the engine to figure out what I want to do. So GameMaker isn't necessarily better than any others. It's just the one I'm most comfortable with. Well, all right. Coding empty husk. Yeah, you describe it like that, it sounds awful, but I mean, to me, coding is one of the most engaging and interesting things you can do because it requires your full brain. This is the part that I love. When I have to go in and like I'm going to add in the ability to chop down trees today, and so like I have to go over to the player and I have a folder here called chopping. And I'm going to have to go in and find the sprite for chopping, whichever one among these it is. I have to find that sprite, and then I have to find the axe, and then I have to line them up, and I have to make 16 different sprites, and I have to like that to me is the most boring thing. That's when I put on a YouTube video and I just veg out because I'm literally just copying and pasting and writing the same name, almost the same name, over and over and over. And it takes me like half an hour to add in a new animation fully ready to go, and it's just, that's tedious. But this kind of code is much more fascinating. So okay, I think, I mean, that works. I think, honestly, that's probably what I'm going to leave it at, right? Although, this whole thing is broken now. But, the building menu works. You can now see. You can now put things where you want. And you can start designing your actual town. Oh, the last quality of life change I wanted on the building was hopefully a simple one. It's simply, I want draw X to actually be on the player. That way when you start building that way when you activate the building, it's not way over there. And this is even more important now that I've done this. Now the building's on me, and so this is probably where I want it to be, is on top of, like, pretty close to where I am. And so yeah, I'm happy with that. You got multiple houses. You got this giant one you can put down here. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So, Akita, are you running Linux by choice? Like, you say you're not a programmer, but I don't see a lot of, like, are you a network person? Are you an IT? I'm very curious why you're on Linux, because it's a very uncommon choice. Ajax, do I draw my sprites? 100% no. Yeah, the sprites I draw look like that. So, IT. Okay, that makes sense. Cool. I I don't know. You can probably see my whole backdrop. I'm waiting on one more part for my computer. I'm building basically my own Steam machine for the living room, and I'm waiting on a controller for all of the fan lighting. Once I get that, I'll actually do some nice cable management. Oh, I'm plugged in. Hold on. But this is my baby right now. She actually looks pretty nice, though. I don't know. It's a micro ATX build. I like it. But I can't light up any of the stuff yet because I don't actually have a ARGB pin on that motherboard. So I'm getting an adapter, which will hopefully be here shortly. Yeah. I want to get on Linux, but because of so much what I do work-wise is on Windows, I struggle. I tried, but I have not successfully done so. I have a MacBook. I have a Windows machine. I'm trying to be more versatile. I taught almost a whole semester of class on like how to use Linux with an actual IT person who knows what they're doing, and it was fascinating. Yeah, I actually still have dual boot on this machine, but the only experience I have with it for the last like year is that it asks me which one I want to start up in, and it just annoys me. And so honestly, it's like oh, I know I need to give it another shot. Just haven't yet. I tried it on the Steam machine, but I realized Windows would be a better option for gaming compatibility. So I found a very nice, like, minimal Windows install. You basically strip away everything about Windows that's annoying, which is like 98% of Windows, and then you just have the basics left, and that's what I've got running on there. And it's really nice. I'll probably put it on my own machine here pretty soon. So, okay. Very last thing I want to do is building code. I don't want to zoom out by 2x. That's too much. Too much. We're going to go with just 50%. Yeah, I think it's Tiny 11. You download the Windows 11 ISO, run the script, choose what you want rid of, and it outputs another ISO that then that's what you use, and it's awesome. I love it. I'm gonna rebuild your computer eventually, Roshan. I actually took apart every other computer we have, which was 4 desktops. So every desktop right now is currently just spread out. It'll get back together eventually. Okay. I think this will do it. I think 50% expanded amount is good. I think that looks nice. I think the coming back, the snapping back could be a little bit smoother. But it's not awful. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. I'd like the snap to come back a little bit slower. So I'm just gonna cheat. Eventually, like a week, like probably this weekend, we'll rebuild it, But I don't even know how much you're gonna use it, dude. Like, if we have this, and you can play, and we have our Steam Deck, and you can play Fez on the Steam Deck, like you've been obsessed with, and then you can play that, like, do you need your own PC anymore? Nice, Akita. Yeah, it's so, like, I understand it 100% because I experienced it recently, but like the fear that people have around building their own computers, like even just installing a GPU, as a tech person, it is literally just and then plug in power and you're done. And yet people get so scared and so, like, they psych themselves out that, like, oh, only an expert could do something like this, or I need to pay someone to do that. And it's like, no, just watch a 5-minute video and you'll probably be okay. But, you know, it's what it is. I have felt that way about other non-tech stuff, so. Yeah, nice. It's a great thing to do. Like, it's a lot of fun to do together. I'm talking to my son, who's the Rose right now, and we just built a different one that was too large, but like we built it completely together, and it was great. I love building computers. It's one of the things I think everyone should know how to do, and it's good. Okay. That looks pretty nice. I'm happy with that. I think the speed could be a little bit faster. I think I will change it to like 0.9. Yeah. Okay. If I leave... Oh, okay, okay. I see. That's on me. Okay. If I leave, there. Hey, I've got them. I have people I put on in the background too, all the time. So I get it. Thank you, Salad. I would not say I solved it, but I did it. I fixed it, and I understand the problem, and I can zoom in and out. Can't do it with a controller yet, but you can do it here, which is fun. So, hey, Akita, you are always welcome to drop by. Yeah, I enjoy being around people, and I don't know about you, but in my inner circle, yeah, in my inner circle and even like my outer circle, I am basically the only tech person. So I can't really discuss much of PC building except for like my wife and kids who have to listen to me. But like, if I tell a coworker or one of my friends I'm building a PC, it's like, oh, that's cool, and then 30 seconds later we're done talking about it. And same thing when it comes to game dev and programming and all of that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I know the world of tech people is huge, but I don't have... I'm trying to think if there's anyone that I have, and I don't. So you are always welcome to drop by, and you are free to rant about Linux anytime and tell me how to do it properly. I'm very curious because I am very, very much considering trying to move over to Linux. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of friendships are based upon mutual interests, and there's nothing wrong with that, and it helps create friendships significantly faster. That shouldn't be the only reason, and I believe that you should have the ability to get along and be friends with anybody, but if you have things in common, it makes it a lot easier. And so I get that. Yeah, you gotta find something to talk about, to do, hang out with, all that. So okay, I think I'm gonna call it here. Nobody. Oh. do you try to tell them salad, or or have you told them and they don't understand it? Oh. That's weird. Now I can just drop as many houses as I want. Dang it! I thought I had it working. What did I do wrong? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I get you. It's not like... Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's having a conversation with someone who listens well and is interested in you and like cares about you is great, and like that's good, but there's a different dynamic to it when you can actually talk about it with someone who knows what you're talking about. Like, I've been into 3D printing for almost 5.5 years now, and my wife has just tolerated it up until we got these machines, which now they can do laser engraving, and they can put they can do like Cricut stuff, so they can like cut out vinyl, and now she's interested in it, and so now our conversations are way more in depth and much more engaging for both of us, because I'm talking about like, oh, this one can do this, or we need to change this setting, or I'm tweaking it, and like she understands because she's doing that along with me instead of just humoring me, and it is one of those things that really deepens that relationship, which is super cool. So yeah. Finding a good community is important. 100%. Yeah, Akita, I'm down for it too. I have not... This week is by far the most I've ever like streamed, but I'm also very much enjoying it. And so I go back to work next week because I'm a teacher on spring break, so I have it off, which is fantastic. But if I can schedule the time to continue streaming, I would I want to do that, mostly because this is my actual work time as well, so I can like I get to work and then I get to meet and talk with cool people. So I am making a concerted I am making the effort to be on more often, and if you're here, 100% join up, talk about it. If you have specific things, I totally talk about it, because I'm guessing we both have very different knowledge bases, and then I'm genuinely interested, and you probably know quite a bit, so, and you can see what I know, which is not how to fix a camera system properly in GameMaker, but we do what we do. What was I fixing? Oh yeah. This. Once I actually build a house, I no longer want to be drawing a house. One house at a time. There we go. Now you'll notice they still stick around where they were before, which isn't super ideal. It's not the end of the world. And I do absolutely love this ability to just plop in towns. My goal for this evening is to actually put a working door on every single one of these that transports you to a unique room. That then you can customize that room as well. So, yeah, it is better than nothing. And I going from literally nothing Tuesday morning on building to a almost finished working building system by Monday morning to Wednesday morning. That just feels good. And fixing the weird glitch surface issue that has literally been bugging me. Like, I invented the camera system probably a year ago and have been using it, and clearly have been using it wrong. And it has always irked me. And I just thought it was the way that it was. And it wasn't. And I cannot tell you how happy I am that that is fixed. That is genuinely a breath of fresh air. Like, wow. I fixed something that I did not know I could fix, but that makes me feel so good about it. So, okay. I'm resetting the location of where I am drawing stuff at. There we go. Ooh. Oh, no, you can still go through those. Cool. I am proud of it. 100%. Yeah. Oh, you want to see something? I added this in yesterday, and I'm working on it, but I added these trees. Oh, curses. I added these trees that you can grow. And then if you... Wow. And then if you click on them, they fall over, and they produce wood. So, I like that. I'm gonna set it up in a way that you can actually then harvest, and you have to, like, do stuff with them. But yeah, we're getting there. Oh, look, that one is moving. I bet I need to floor its X and Y. Yeah, I wonder, Salad, I wonder if that is like a tech IT person. I don't know if you can relate, Akita, but so many times when I'm struggling with a programming issue, if I can't fix it, I'll just leave, and then I'll go do like some physical labor, or I'll take a nap, or I'll do something to completely take my mind off it, and in the back of my head it's working even if I'm not actively working on it. And then when I come back, I have at least a way to test it, if not fix it. Like, I don't ever hear anyone non-techie related talking about it, but I also watch only tech YouTube, so I don't know. Maybe like welders and plumbers, and maybe everyone has that same thing. I don't know, but I feel that 1000%. So, what was I about to fix? No, I think I was about to be done. I think I fixed everything I wanted to. Right? Yeah, there are some lines of work. Like, if a doctor in the middle of a surgery was like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do next, and went and took a shower, that might be problematic. We do have the luxury of typically working on things over the course of multiple hours or days or weeks. And so, yeah, there are some professions where that doesn't work. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I will continue finding something to work on until I call it. And it is, for me, it's almost 1 o'clock. My doggos have been alone for about 3 hours. I doubt they've destroyed anything. They're getting pretty good. But I do want to go make sure that they need to go and get some exercise. Get some love. So I think I'll call it here. Thank you for joining, Salad, Akita. I am saying that, right? Yeah? Okay. Akita, I guess. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Hopefully this was somewhat entertaining. And there we go. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon if you want to join me. Except in the Netherlands, it'll be late into the night. So have a good rest, I guess. I'll talk to you guys later.